Contracts are the cornerstone of protecting your business. Yet many contractors overlook one critical provision that can save them from lengthy legal battles and ensure they're compensated when things go wrong: the cancellation clause. Hey guys, it's Karalynn and welcome back to the podcast. Today is another series of my cheap Audible of Trust Your Gut. Today we're going to read chapter 10, the cancellation clause. So Trust Your Gut is a book written for residential contractors about all the different clauses you should have in your residential construction contract. And today we're going to go over the cancellation clause and what it is and why you should have one. So, contracts are the cornerstone of protecting your business. Yet many contractors overlook one critical provision that can save them from lengthy legal battles and ensure they're compensated when things go wrong: the cancellation clause. This simple clause can mean the difference between walking away with the profit you've earned or being left high and dry arguing your case in court. In this chapter, you'll learn why including a cancellation clause in your contract is essential for protecting your business. We'll cover how this provision ensures you're compensated if the homeowner decides to cancel, and how it prevents lengthy disputes by setting clear upfront expectations. With the right language in your contract, you can safeguard your profit, simplify potential legal battles, and ensure your time and effort are valued, whether a project is complete or not. So what is the cancellation clause? A cancellation clause is a provision in your contract that clearly defines what happens if the homeowner decides to cancel the project after the agreement is signed. It gives the homeowner the right to cancel the contract, but with a critical stipulation. You must be compensated for your time, effort, and profit lost as a result of the cancellation. It is important to note that in most states, homeowners are legally entitled to a 3-day right to cancel a contract without any penalty. During these 3 days, the homeowner can back out at no cost, regardless of what is in your contract. However, once that window closes, your cancellation clause kicks in, protecting your right to be compensated if they cancel after the grace period. The most important aspect of a cancellation clause is that it defines in clear terms the damages you're entitled to if the project is canceled. These damages generally include the profit you would have made on the project had the project been completed. Without this clause, you face an uphill battle to recover damages. If a homeowner decides to pull out of a contract, you may have to fight in court to prove what your damages are, including your lost profit. This process can be expensive, stressful, and slow. A cancellation clause sets a clear expectation for both parties up front, ensuring that your rights are protected and that you're fairly compensated. The truth is, no one wants to go to court to argue over profits, but without a cancellation clause, that's exactly the situation you could find yourself in. Homeowners sometimes don't understand the gravity of signing a contract and think they can cancel without consequence. A cancellation clause sets the record straight, informs the homeowner that canceling the contract will cost them something, typically your profit. Protecting your profit. Let's say you've signed a contract, scheduled the project, and maybe even started ordering materials. Then suddenly the homeowner calls and cancels the contract. What now? Without a clear cancellation clause, you could be left trying to calculate the profit that you're owed, while the homeowner might resist paying anything beyond what they've already given you. With a cancellation clause, you're better protected. You've already agreed up front the damages for such an event, which typically includes the profit you would have earned and had the project been completed. Whether the project is canceled before you start or halfway through, your contract should state that what you're entitled to based on the stage of work. There are 2 critical moments in any project where cancellation fees can come into play. 1, before the work begins. If the homeowner cancels before any work starts, you should keep the non-refundable deposit. This compensates you for the time scheduling, preparing, potentially turning away other work. A cancellation clause makes it clear that once the contract is signed, the homeowner is committed to either moving forward or forfeiting the deposit. This prevents them from willy-nilly canceling without any financial consequences. 2, after the work has begun. If the homeowner cancels during the project, your contract should state that you're entitled to compensation for the work completed up into the cancellation, plus the percentage of your remaining contract to account for the profit you would have made. For example, if the total contract's $100,000 and the homeowner has paid you $50,000, you're still entitled to a portion of the remaining $50,000 as lost profit. typically a percentage between 10 and 50%, depending on your pricing, model, and industry standards. By setting clear terms in your cancellation clause, you're not just protecting your business, you're simplifying any future legal battles. If a homeowner decides to cancel mid-project, they'll know what they owe you. There's no need to fight over ambiguous figures or argue in court about the value of your work. Instead, the contract has already outlined the compensation you're due. This clarity saves both time and money and helps you avoid drawn-out disputes. For larger projects that span over months or an entire year, I recommend a tiered cancellation clause approach. This allows you to set different cancellation fees based on project milestones. The fees increase as the project progresses, ensuring you're compensated fairly no matter when the project is canceled. The percentage you charge for lost profit varies depending on the scope of work of the project and the standard of your specific trade. While some contractors may only charge 10% of the remaining contract, others could go as high as 50%. This percentage represents the profit you would have earned on the uncompleted work, ensuring that your time, effort, and expertise are fairly compensated. Key contract language to include. To make sure you're covered, include contract language like this. In the event the homeowner cancels the contract after signing, the homeowner agrees to compensate contractor as follows. If cancellation occurs before work is done, the homeowner forfeits a non-refundable deposit as compensation for time spent scheduling, preparing, and lost opportunities. If cancellation occurs after work has commenced, the contractor is entitled to a payment for all work completed plus X percentage of the remaining contract balance as compensation for lost profit. The percentage of compensation may vary depending on the phase of the project at the time of cancellation. The contractor may seek additional compensation for materials ordered or costs incurred directly related to the project prior to the cancellation. This clause sets clear expectation for both parties, ensuring that if the project is canceled, there's no ambiguity about the contractor's right to compensation. Key takeaways. If you want to get paid for damages in the event that the client pulls out of the project, include a cancellation clause. Specify compensation for the different stages of each project. Set clear expectations and avoid ambiguity. Value your time, protect your business. The cancellation clause is essentially a safeguard for any contractor. It ensures that if the homeowner cancels a project, you're paid for your time, effort, and lost profit. Without it, you risk lengthy disputes and lost revenue. By clearly outlining your compensation in the front, in the event of a cancellation, you protect your business from uncertainty and make sure that every project, whether completed or not, values your time and expertise. Remember, the damages you're entitled to as a contractor are your profit. If this isn't built into the contract, you all have to prove it in court, and nobody wants that. Avoid potential future disputes on how work will be judged by including a provision that sets standards, which is what we'll talk about in the next chapter.
You want to redo that last
Sure.
couple sentences?
Sure. Remember, the damages you're entitled to as a contractor are your profit. If this isn't built into your contract, you'll have to prove it in court, and nobody wants that. Avoid potential future disputes on how your work will be judged by including provisions that set out those standards, which is what we'll dive into in the next.